welcome. We're the boys. With me is Brandon.
What's up?
Aaron.
What's up?
David.
Hey, y'all.
And I'm Gage. We're going to start off here with a community question or something along those lines. Aaron's got that for us, but we'll also be discussing some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and we'll finish up with a section about the new horror game called Scorn. All right, so Aaron, go ahead and give us what you got, man.
All right, so for this week, we're gonna do a four-way kind of fantasy draft. Here, it's gonna be each of us are gonna pick three. It's gonna be gaming franchises of all time. Your top franchises. Let me get my thing ready here for the randomizer.
A quick question: are we allowing like franchises that have like spin-off franchises? Are those separate?
Like, give me an example of that.
Well, so like Mega Man, right? Mega Man also has all the Battle Network games and
Is it
stuff
centered
like
around
that.
Mega Man?
I mean, yeah, it's in the title, but
Well,
that's a different.
I feel like for it to be a franchise game, it has to be in the title. So if it's Mega Man in the title, then it falls under the franchise, right?
yeah.
All right.
Which, yeah, that'd be how I'd go about that. Hold on 1 second. I'm just about done with this. Okay, randomize. Ah, god dang it. David has the first pick.
All right. So you doing the whole order, or am I just picking my first?
You're going first round.
The first overall pick, the Mongoose selects the Elder Scrolls franchise.
Ooh.
That's not where I thought he was going to go with that, but
Where else would I go?
I'll
Where else
get to
would
that in a
anybody
minute.
go?
I'll get to that here in a minute. Second was Braden.
Took the Elder Scrolls, so I'll take Halo franchise.
Ooh.
Good ones right off the rip. Gage, your third.
I'm gonna have to go with Mass Effect.
Ooh, y'all are going some fairly recent ones. I do hate you for that. But honestly, that wasn't on my list for top three. And David, the reason I find that shocking is because Mario. I would have really thought you would went Mario first, because Mario is my number one pick.
All right.
I mean,
There's a reason that I didn't, and that's because I didn't want somebody else to jump on Elder Scrolls. It is my favorite franchise.
valid, because I feel like if you hadn't, Brandon would have.
Or Gage.
Or me.
Yeah. I guess so. For round two, pick one, I'd be looking at The Legend of Zelda.
Ooh,
I
okay.
figured that was gonna be on your list.
Right, I knew it had to be on his list somewhere. Bastard, taking off some good ones.
Who's up next? Me, right?
You, yep.
That's you.
So yeah, just for pure nostalgia purposes, I'm gonna have to go with the Pokemon franchise.
Damn it! That was my second pick. Ah,
Yep. Pure
Killing
nostalgia. Got me through childhood.
killing me on that one.
For my next pick,
Don't you do it.
you
I will
don't,
drive down there and stab you. I know. I'm really hoping you don't take it.
you don't know what I'm gonna pick.
Read his mind real quick.
Right, hold on. No, I'm getting nothing. There's nothing up there. Where do we? So, okay. Quick question on this: where do we fall with like Star Wars video games as like franchise? Is that
Okay? So that kind of like builds on my question. So those are because you have like the Jedi Knight series, and you have the Knights of the Old Republic series, which is what I think you're gonna say.
Yeah, I feel like it would be like separated into like your KOTOR, your Battlefield, your
Battlefront.
MMO, or yeah, front, not field.
Battlefield?
Different. Just one's in Star Wars.
I mean, with us only doing 3, I'm gonna go ahead and say that probably just say Star Wars as a whole,
I do like the
including
whole.
every Star Wars game.
All right, Star Wars is my next pick.
Okay. There's a couple spots I want to go here, but unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to take the Call of Duty.
Wow.
I mean, you want to talk big?
That's a surprise.
Somebody's got their basic white bitch going.
I mean,
where's your pumpkin spice latte?
Close. It's Pepsi Mango.
not a sponsor. Yes.
Oh, so we're doing 3, right?
Yep.
All right, so round 3 kicking off. First off, I want to remind some people that there are some trash Star Wars games out there.
There's also some trash Mario games and also some trash Elder Scrolls games.
What's a trash Elder Scrolls game?
Literally
1
their first
through
game.
2.
Yeah, their first before Morrowind. We're all
people love those. They're people older than me.
Nobody
because
talks
they didn't know
about
any
them.
better.
I didn't know they existed.
I'm not saying there's bad games, but as a franchise as a whole, I mean, yeah, come on now. You've re-released Skyrim how many times?
Say Elder Scrolls has like
That's
3
because
games.
it's amazing and people keep buying it.
Elder Scrolls has like 3 games and then like a dozen freaking re-releases of one of them.
How many times have you all bought Skyrim?
Way too many. Way too many.
Yeah.
He's counting.
All of them?
Yeah.
Several. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
And people keep buying it because it's a fucking top tier game. So for my last pick, I'm gonna take. And I'm debating here. I got 2. Aaron, I think we need to roll this into a round 4.
I'm okay with that.
All right, I'm gonna take Resident Evil.
Ooh. I wouldn't have thought of that one.
That was gonna be my next one.
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't have thought of it.
I gotta rethink for a second.
Broke Brandon.
Right?
You know what? Spyro.
Solid
That's
pick.
different.
I mean, the re-release here recently was fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know. David threw me off with taking that pick. So.
All right. Oh man, I have not put enough thought into this one.
For shame.
I know. I'm ill prepared. I even kind of knew that this question was coming and everything. Top franchise number 3 for me.
I know what I think you should say, but I'll wait till the next 2 picks go.
I'm gonna have to.
It'll be my next pick.
I'm gonna have to say Fallout.
There you go.
Yeah, I would have been a little surprised if you hadn't said it.
Fallout is my Elder Scrolls to these guys.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting for you to say it. And
that was going to be like your first or second.
Hold on. Fallout, in terms of just gaming ability, anyways, is better than Elder Scrolls because there's only one bad Fallout game.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, wait, excuse me.
Hold on. I don't mean that in overall games. I'm just saying there's only one bad Fallout game versus 2 bad Elder Scrolls. I'm just saying.
Fallout Tactics.
There was a
Fallout 76.
76 was awful.
76 is the one he was referring to, I'm pretty sure.
The Brotherhood of Steel games on the OG Xbox.
Yep.
There was a lot of spin-off games that did not hit, but if you're talking about OG Fallout 1 and 2, those games are classics.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. Mainline Fallout games are fantastic.
Yeah.
But I will argue the same is true of Elder Scrolls game, but the technology, because it started way back in the way back. The only truly bad Elder Scrolls game is Redguard.
Oh, don't forget the mobile game. Mobile game counts.
Oh yeah,
Was it?
ESO too. I forgot about ESO. ESO sucks.
Yeah, ESO's pretty good.
ESO's popular.
ESO does
Now
suck, though.
it sucks.
ESO's gotten a lot better.
If you have to say that, then
So
it's
is
a bad
Fallout
game.
76.
Oh, it's Fallout
It sucked
76.
in the beginning, but it's gotten a lot better
It's
and
gotten a
actually
lot
more enjoyable.
better, yeah.
Fallout 76
Fallout
though.
70 You can't even play like other races and stuff like that, and you should be able to in a persistent game like that.
But
Yeah,
back on topic for just a moment. My third round pick, Grand Theft Auto.
Ooh, another good choice.
It's a rather solid pick there. I mean, with the exception of graphic quality back in the first two. I mean, name one bad game.
Well, they've got, at least in that department, they've got Elder Scrolls games beat.
Right?
This is true. They every Grand Theft Auto game is a good game. Some of their DLCs don't quite land, but that's true.
Chinatown was awful.
Oh, Chinatown Wars has a pretty solid fan base. But I mean, like the Ballad of Gay Tony and Lost and Damned and the Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, those were kind of meh.
All right. Well, if you're rolling into a fourth round, let's get at it.
I actually kind of half expected Gage to not say Fallout for a minute there.
He was banking on that one.
Kind of hope.
Kind of. But that's okay. I'll go Need for Speed.
Classic.
I think you might have taken Brandon's fourth round too.
actually was, but I got a backup. I'll do The Witcher.
Ooh,
There you go.
that's solid. That's solid.
Ooh.
Though the first game did not age well.
No, absolutely not.
No, but that's kind of like the same with the Elder Scrolls stuff. They
This is
just
true.
Right? Like, who's gonna go back and play Morrowind right now? Nobody.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
It is rough, but I still play it from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of get out of Satanine, and then I'm just like, okay, time to stop for the day.
I've
It's a
seen
game
everything
that's
I need to
lived in
see.
my head forever, though.
Oh shoot! What is my fourth pick? You guys.
What are your fourth pick?
Pretty sad.
No. You
I
wouldn't
want to
even
be
be
a
my. You
franchise.
wouldn't even be my fifth pick,
Oh, you're right.
Wow.
That'd be your first.
dude. You can't do that. When I do that, stop it.
It happens.
All right, fourth pick is gonna be I'm gonna have to go Battlefield.
Pretty good for a while.
That's the peppermint mocha of.
Battlefield has trailed off in recent years, and they're suffering for it, unfortunately. But they had Bad Company and Bad Company 2.
Bad Company 2 is probably one of the best multiplayer shooters that I've ever played.
Same here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A peak Battlefield, I would say, is better than peak Call of Duty, but Call of Duty wins overall from consistency.
Yeah, consistent good releases.
Yeah. Fourth round, and I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised it didn't make it on anybody's list, but I'm gonna take it, and that's World of Warcraft.
Is that a franchise?
Considered a
Warcraft.
franchise,
Warcraft,
considering
franchise.
Yeah, I mean,
Warcraft.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I would consider World of Warcraft a franchise on its own just for how many DLCs and I don't know. They're like full-length games that were added on, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
And-
pretty solid at that round.
Hey,
there.
real quick, Gage, on your screen with our cameras, are we in the same order as like I see it? So I have like
I don't know.
Brandon, Aaron, you, and me. So
Brandon,
Brandon and Aaron.
above me.
Yep. Yep.
Aaron up there in the corner.
Yep.
You next to me.
Yeah. Other way, but yeah.
Me here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I have it.
So I really expected this dude, Brandon, to
Oh, no,
was it the other way?
Opposite for us, yeah.
So
Okay.
stage.
So I expected this guy for everybody that's not me, that doesn't exist, to say like Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Final Fantasy is one I'm kind of surprised nobody said.
I was thinking about it, but it wasn't one that I was like super.
It's not one I
into.
would pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy only has like 2 games that I actually like. So
Out of the 28 they have.
yeah, out of the overall, I mean, not that all their games in that franchise are bad, but they just don't do it for me.
I mean, overall speaking, finding like top tier gaming franchises is hard, but if you try to break it down to segments, there's other great ones you can name. You know, Assassin's Creed, Street Fighter, you know, things like that. Those are some god tier franchises. Hell, FIFA if you're into that kind of thing.
What's
You didn't say Madden, but you said you
You
would
said
say
FIFA over Madden?
Wow,
I'm
I
talking-
myself a fucking
Overall,
American football fan.
Overall, worldwide, I bet you FIFA is more popular than Madden.
It's also probably a better game than Madden.
Yeah, probably. I mean, not gonna lie there.
All the sports games are the same.
No?
Yeah.
I would
It's
disagree
just not
with that.
true at
hard.
all.
All right. Anyways,
Anyway.
let's do a quick recap just so we go down your list.
All right,
That would
so my picks were Elder Scrolls. I already forgot what I had.
Resident Evil.
4 was too many.
You did say
Elder
Resident
Scrolls,
Evil.
Resident Evil, Legend of Zelda, and Need for Speed. Not in that order, but yeah.
And mine was Halo. What did I do after that? Crap. Halo, Pokemon, Spyro, and what did I do for my last one? Crap.
You said something that I don't think too many people were gonna know either, too.
Oh, The Witcher.
Witcher.
Shoosh.
Witcher.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Witcher.
Yeah.
And then for me, it was Star Wars was my second one, but it Battlefield,
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. That was my first one. Thank you. And then Fallout.
Okay, so of the 4 of us, I actually remember my exact order being Mario, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto.
Good job remembering, buddy.
I remember my order. It doesn't mean I necessarily remembered the game. Warcraft,
You said Warcraft,
being my 4th. At least I can remember my order. Good lord.
See how
Oh,
invested we are in these franchises.
Right?
oh, feels good.
Oh, so sad.
Okay, so for those listening, let us know which group you feel is the winner here.
Elder Scrolls.
No.
No, definitely
It's not a
Fallout.
group.
Definitely Fallout.
Your list fell off as soon as you said Need for Speed. I'm not saying Need for Speed's not a good franchise, but they have some dookie games.
Yeah, I mean, if you make
so
games long
Call of
enough
Duty
in the
has
same
Dookie
franchise,
games too.
I don't disagree
Call of Duty
with
Ghosts.
that. Yeah, Ghost is
hey,
god
I
awful.
liked Ghosts.
Yeah,
Story.
you would.
Story. I hated the multiplayer. I loved Ghosts. Man, you get a dog, and then they make you feel for the dog, and
Was
then
it Advanced Warfare with Kevin
Oh, gosh,
Spacey or
awful.
whatever?
that was
Awful.
terrible. Terrible.
All right.
Yeah, see, COD has terrible games, but super loyal fans. So no matter what kind of game they make, they end up buying it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And with
there's-
the Warzone edition. It's just gotten better in terms of their fan base.
People are still hooked on it.
Even though it's one of the most toxic communities you can ever listen to in a game lobby.
I don't know. I still feel like League of Legends has it.
Let's go with League of Legends.
Probably.
Oh goodness, sorry.
All right. So with that, talking about Call of Duty, we wanted to discuss the big new release of Modern Warfare 2. I know a couple of us here have played it a lot more than a couple of us others. You guys are grinding camos.
I still have it currently loaded in the background right now, so as soon as we're done.
He's playing it right now as we're doing this.
I left just so I didn't get tempted to play while we're doing this. So. Oh man.
So with that, how's everybody feeling about the new Modern Warfare?
I feel like it's one of those discussions that probably gonna need to go one at a time so we don't talk over each other.
That's fair. Go ahead, Aaron.
Particularly, I feel like it's great. When they remastered Modern Warfare a couple years back, one of the best Call of Duties that we've got in a decade plus. Then you came out with Cold War, which is absolute dog turds, and Vanguard wasn't everybody's cup of tea. So I'm glad to see him come back to remastering a game that feels fantastic. My biggest draw to it is thankfully removing slide canceling. I like a more tactical style, multiplayer experience. I hate the idea that just because you could sit there and ZZYY across the damn map, you could suddenly be better than everybody. So for me, that's my biggest takeaway for the game is the removal of slide canceling, going back to a more tactical thing.
All right. Brandon, how you feeling about it?
I kind of agree. I personally enjoy the removal of slide canceling and stuff like that. I still believe that the slide canceling and all of that required skill and all of that. But with them removing it and trying to make it a more slower pace, kind of tactical shooter in air quotations, kind of brings it back to how Modern Warfare used to be. There was a lot of just walking and aiming down sights, unless you were running around with the Model 1887s, and then you were literally running and hip firing a chemo.
First ever nuke I ever dropped with those things.
But of course, there's issues. I mean, their lobby is just an issue.
I should have to disconnect the party every time we want to group up together.
Yeah.
Facts.
And I mean, it's been out for 2 weeks now, and not a single touch on it. Well, I get it. Warzone's coming out, DMZ's coming out, so they really want to flesh that out because that's the more popular kind of draw to Call of Duty nowadays. But it gets kind of I
think that a lot of the issues with the lobbies and stuff like that will probably get fixed about the time they push the new UI.
Yes.
I think that's all going to be lumped together.
That was awful. I hate their interface at the moment.
I agree.
It's pretty miserable.
But they're I enjoy the TTK. It takes a little bit to get used to because the headshot multiplier on it is absolutely absurd for whatever gun you're using. So I don't know. Overall, gameplay wise, I feel like it is better than the past couple we've had, other than 2019.
So, your comment on the headshot multiplier, do you feel like someone should be able to take more than one bullet to the head?
No, absolutely not. What I'm saying is getting used to it compared to other Call of Duties, because I could go from shooting not a buttload, but more bullets into somebody's head in the past than now. Like, I've recently been running around with a Finnick, and it's like a quick little burst to the head, and they're dead. In the past, it was fairly decent amount before it just killed them.
Yeah, I feel like the weapons are way more balanced currently than they have been.
Except for the SPR.
The SPR, and then that one that they had to ban from competitive play.
The AK, or no, the Kostov 74U.
So balanced.
Yeah,
so balanced.
But the reason I point that out is because previous COD you had a meta gun. Even in multiplayer, like there was a meta for running multiplayer. Like when the Growl first dropped, who didn't use the Growl? Well, that's because you're a loser, and you too.
I was using the Ram.
I was using the Growl before it's popular.
David, you're a fellow old head. How are you feeling about the game?
Well, I'm completely fine with it only taking one bullet to somebody's head to kill them.
Right? It's only logical.
I too hate slide canceling. Now, so this Call of Duty does a lot of things really well. It's probably the best feeling Call of Duty in years. Getting away from the movement-based shooter and more into a tactical-based shooter is kind of a breath of fresh air for my old ass, because this is what Call of Duty used to be. I will say in general, I feel like the guns are more balanced, except for that fucking SPR. I hate that thing with a passion. And I know that shotguns have some oomph to them, right? That's their purpose. But they're supposed to have oomph at short distance. It shouldn't be the best DMR in the fucking game. Because that's not what it is.
I will say, because I was playing with Gage earlier, he was so mad at these shotguns.
These are fucking irritating.
So
Nothing worse than getting sniped with a fucking shotgun.
Well, I mean, wait, are we talking about the SPR or a shotgun? The SPR is a marksman rifle that falls under every category.
It is the best gun in every category.
Yeah, I forget. I think I was playing just a little bit ago, and somebody was complaining about how the shotgun didn't one tap. I was like, no, it doesn't. It was like, shotguns suck. I was like, that's why you gotta use the SPR. It's the same thing.
Basically, you might as well.
That gun is so stupid. I will say though, one thing I'm happy about, and I'm sure it's gonna go away because it's Call of Duty, and eventually they'll start catering to the noisiest crowd. Is I'm glad that there's not a meta gun. I fucking hate that phrase. I hate people chasing whatever the streamers are doing and saying this is the most broken build. Just do all these things and you'll never die.
Honestly, I think it's just a matter of time. The game's only been out for 2 weeks. People are still leveling up guns. People are still, figuring stuff out.
I know it is. It was the same thing with Modern Warfare in 2019. It was great for a month, and then they tweaked enough stuff that people were like, "Oh, this is the OP build right now."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a matter. And then they're gonna start releasing new guns and stuff like that. It's the same.
Yeah,
same
and
old,
to make
same
the
old.
new guns more popular, they're going to
Buff the
go
crap
through
out
that.
of them.
Yeah, they're gonna buff them and nerf the others, and that's fucking retarded.
Also,
Can't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Way to go, and we're canceled
it's
first time
fucking
back.
special. It's fucking
I don't
special.
care. Yeah, it's special.
But also with them tweaking guns and stuff, they're gonna end up tweaking the guns more towards like Warzone or multiplayer, and you're not gonna have that good balance.
That's stupid because they're two different things. So they can be two different things.
So that it kind of reminds me of a game that me and Gage play, which is Destiny. They have a PvE and a PvP. You could bring your PvE guns into PvP, and they can never separate the two. That's always a blanket. I know you're tired of us talking about it because you guys don't play it, but it's a good comparison. Like, they can never separate it. It's just a blanket nerf or buff to the
Yes,
Well-
but you have PvP and PvP, and they're essentially two different games. But the only reason that it's gonna not be because you can level up your guns from one version, from one thing to the other, and that's gonna ruin it.
Well, and I think one of the things, and unfortunately, for as much as I love the game, one of the things that's going to ruin the Warzone experience already is the streamer privilege of, oh, they came out and say we're not going to do loadouts. One event later, and suddenly now there's loadouts again.
Yeah, and that's why it's just a matter of time until they change things to where we're the group that doesn't like the game anymore, and
Right?
the vocal people are the ones that are going to finally be happy.
And I got one other thing to gripe about, and it has to do with the fact that there was a beta for this game. What was the purpose of the beta? And why call it a beta if you don't make improvements based on the feedback from that?
Honestly, I think the whole point of that beta was just to generate hype.
Yep.
So
Like, I
why
don't-
not just have a preview event? Why's it got to be a beta?
And they took away some things due to, like, I'm going to say copyright of
Well, they
places.
took away that
Yeah,
one
right.
map.
How do you have that map in the beta? And like, how do you do that? How do you go about being a multi-billion-dollar company and not getting the right legal,
Well,
whatever it may be, to get maps in there?
and they've done it with almost every single map in the game so far. The hotel map is getting
Flack.
some flack. The border crossing is now getting sued by like Mexico.
Oh, I
Because
didn't hear about that
That's
one.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah, that
glad
map
if
can
that
go.
one goes away, but like
I'm
literally
not.
every
I like
single
that map.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
You would.
the raceway is also under some issues because of.
Oh, thank God.
What? Hold
I
on.
actually like that map.
Well,
You're a
no.
liar.
What I was going to say was, don't get your hopes up because they've already resolved that issue. But like, they were in trouble because it was named after a Formula One racetrack, so they had to change the name.
Honestly, it kind of seems silly to me that architecture falls under copyright laws.
I agree.
Yeah.
You can take pictures of buildings and stuff like that. Take pictures of skylines, and nobody's gonna sue you.
They can go ahead and, like, Iraq can go ahead and sue for that stupid Tarak map.
I hope they do. I hope they do, and I hope they win.
I was liking that map. Now it's just awful. I like the aesthetic of it. But that's about it.
Yeah, I don't like anything about it. If I'm
But
not
hey,
running
guess
a
what?
sniper
Shipment's
rifle.
coming back.
And Shoot House. I'm excited
Yeah.
about Shoot House though.
I'm excited
I
for
like
Brandon to
Shoothouse.
play Shipment.
Spawn die, spawn die.
spawn
There's no hardcore mode in this. There's no hardcore mode in this, so I could spawn and die from the enemy team, not my own team.
Hardcore mode's coming back too.
I
Or is
cannot
it-
wait for hardcore.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about
Yes.
that.
Hardcore.
I enjoy hardcore.
I was really surprised it wasn't there at launch.
Yeah, I think they're tweaking some stuff on it. Like, it's going to be different than the hardcore we're used to.
I hope so, because in Vanguard's hardcore mode was awful when you had the Ganon bomb. That thing would
Mm.
explode on impact and just kill everybody in the room. Which, I get it, it's hardcore mode, but everybody's running it. So you
Yeah.
spawn, die, spawn, die, spawn, die.
Yeah, I know that all too well. I think a mode that they need to bring back, or I guess it's a couple modes, is like realism mode and the night modes. I really like the night modes. It was kind of unique.
I think they should bring those to Warzone too.
I agree. Ooh, Warzone at night,
Remember how good
DMZ at
we
night.
were? How good we were that weekend that there was realism.
Oh,
on Warzone?
God, that was amazing.
We were so good they took it away.
Specifically because of you two. They're like, ooh.
We're literally the only 4 people that actually liked realism mode.
That we were
Probably
we
the
were,
only 4 people that were good at it.
we were playing bots the whole time because they had to fill a lobby with somebody.
Yep.
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying the game overall. It's still, Call of Duty. They haven't really changed the formula up too much. And honestly, this Modern Warfare 2 has made me realize that there's only one Call of Duty game developer that I think I'm going to actually purchase games from anymore, and that's Infinity Ward. Treyarch, for whatever reason, has fallen off. I don't know what happened to that studio, but
Because they keep focusing on old wars. Like, quit doing the time travel backwards. Nobody wants that.
see, that's not it for me. It's the gameplay itself. Like, I originally loved Treyarch because they were the first ones to bring out World at War. World at War was amazing. I love that. It was the first one where it was the first one where I almost hit max prestige. And then Black Ops 2, all really great games, all by Treyarch. And then after that, Black Ops 3 was rough. Black Ops 4, I mean, they just, I don't know. And then I don't know who was it, Sledgehammer and their other studio, I guess.
And Raven.
Raven, yeah, that's combined to make Vanguard, which Vanguard was okay, but it wasn't all that special.
Yeah, I gotta say that Treyarch, I think to me their biggest issue is from World at War to Black Ops, that was a big change, right?
Mm.
Black Ops 2 kind of built on what the first game did. And then Black Ops 3, it was like, that's the first time they had like operatives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they tied those to everything. And that made it, to me, a garbage ass game.
So,
and I think.
Go ahead.
And I think the problem is instead of just building, they keep trying to shake things up, but also keep the same franchise because they are stuck on the Black Ops thing.
To me, it was more literally the gameplay got worse. Not like the stuff they added, the operators, the changes they made there. I mean, I didn't like those things, but to me, it was more the gameplay itself felt worse. Like it was being developed by some no-name studio.
Oh, you mean the indie studio that we always call it?
Yeah,
AAA titles sometimes.
There are some indie studios that bring in some banger games.
One quick note to make before we move on to David's Scorn. I do believe Brandon and David made a comment about Warzone at night. So DMZ actually does have the rotating like times and
night
weather
cycle.
patterns. Yeah.
Good.
So
Good,
the
good,
DMZ mode will at least have that kind of stuff.
I was actually gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was about to say, I'm a huge fan of the DMZ thing because I was a huge fan of Escape from Tarkov. So something like that for Call of Duty is amazing.
I was actually going to ask that before we moved on, like what everybody's take on DMZ is. I know at least two of you haven't delved too much into it or seen any like gameplay of it, but like the thought of it.
So DMZ mode is the one mode I'm more excited about than anything. I mean, Warzone 2 is going to be fine. It's going to be fun, but the DMZ mode is something different that Call of Duty hasn't really done. What I've seen of it, it looks kind of like a modified plunder mode. So I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. Excuse me. But it has potential. It's just, I don't know how much it's going to drive people to play that versus Warzone 2. Like, I feel like people are going to gravitate more toward Warzone 2, which is going to make DMZ mode suffer.
Valid.
Yeah.
I can see that same thing happening. I have watched some gameplay and I hesitate to compare it to Tarkov. I know that there's a lot of similarities in terms of the PvE elements and extractions and stuff like that, but I don't think. I think when you compare it to Tarkov, you expect a certain level of difficulty and hardcore aspect, and that's not going to be there.
No.
I don't think it's going to be there.
No.
Well, if there's nothing else from you guys on this part, we'll kick it over to Dave and have him tell us about Scorn.
It's Scorn.
Has the juice.
It does have the
It
juice.
does have the juice if you've played that game. Oh.
So first off, I want to say rest in peace, Batman. Kevin Conroy
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
passed away. Getting into Scorn. I want to say a couple things. What?
It's just a super odd like segue in. Yeah. Oh yeah. R.I.P. Batman. Now let's talk about the butthole murder game.
It was not a butthole murder game. It does have
Every
a lot
short
of.
I've seen from you is a butthole murder game.
That's because there's buttholes everywhere.
And penises and testicles.
There are definitely penises, and okay.
Sounds like
I'm
a
gonna
bad
talk
porno.
about the good things about Scorn that I want to talk about, and spoiler alert, because I'm gonna spoil it. Unless you, I'm serious. Gage, do you intend to finish that game?
I mean, I'll finish it at some point, but honestly, it's gonna be. I've got Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 to go through right now. It's gonna be way off.
Spoiler alert,
won't-
Bruce Willis is dead.
Wow, I don't know what movie you just spoiled, but now
Oh,
every
come
Bruce
on.
Willis movie I watch, I'm gonna have to be like, he's really dead.
Oh Lord.
Just won't see any
Scorn
more Bruce
is-
Willis movies.
For those who don't know, Scorn's a first-person puzzle game. It's kind of set in this like alien world that's made up of dicks and buttholes. I don't know how to describe the aesthetic other than it's very wet.
You could, I would say gory
Moist.
before.
Is it really gory though? I don't feel like it's gory.
Look, this is you describing it, but I mean, I would literally consider it gory. I mean, there is a section in it where you're literally squishing, or not squishing, but like pushing something into a guy, blood splattering everywhere. Then you like, yeah, kinda. Again, this whole game sounds like a very bad porno.
It's not
But
a porno though. It's more of a puzzle first-person shooter that the combat is very minimal though. So the puzzles are more like environmental puzzles, right? So it's gonna be hit this switch, open this door. I don't know what to compare it to. I'd say compare it to The Witness, only like 6 hours long and about 15 to 20 puzzles through the whole game instead of 15 to 20 puzzles in the first level. I don't so there's no dialogue in the game whatsoever, right? You have no idea why you're there. You have no idea what the purpose is. Early on, you're just in awe of the beautiful but gross looking graphics. The puzzles, I don't know. Did you find any of them difficult, Gage?
No, they weren't.
No.
Once you kind of get the idea of what you got to do, it's all fairly simplistic stuff.
Yeah, they're like logic puzzles, but they're logic puzzles for beginners. You're gonna spend more time going, "Oh, that looks neat," than anything else.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in that game coming up with names for stuff because it doesn't actually give you any kind of like what this gun is or what this stuff is. So like that thing that you just like, it's like a gun, but it does the punch.
Fister?
I see you call it the fister. I called it the tongue puncher. So and then like you go around and you tongue punch the old fart box, in a couple places. It's a pretty common occurrence. Or the testicle tree.
There was a testicle tree. There's the that was my baby, but you like pushed him into the thing, and you either killed him or you didn't. I killed my baby. Later on, towards the end of the game, right? I was not in the middle of the game. You kind of pick up this parasite, and it starts doing damage to you like periodically. So one of the good things about the game is it is kind of unforgiving, right? You have very limited ammo once you get to that part of the game. Your health, your ability to refill your health is very limited. If you don't plan those things out, you can pay for it in the combat. And the combat's not very good. But when it's there, it can be intense, right? You have the little fucking chicken things. I know y'all seen that short. And then there's a weird little like chicken monster. I killed him. I like stabbed the fister or tongue puncher through its head.
Tongue punched its head clean off.
And there's like the big like vagina neck monster.
Wow.
See, still does not sound like a porno.
It's not though.
So when you get through like the first 3 acts of the game, you get in Act 4, and then all of a sudden visually the game goes from 3's after 4 gauge or 4's after 3.
No. It just occurred to me. So Brandon keeps calling it a porno. Dude, it's like if the Human Centipede was a porno. Is what Scorn is.
There it is.
All the elements of sex without sex, though.
There's like statues with big old freaking.
Yeah, there is. So that's what I'm saying. When you get to Act 4, right, and you get into those, there's the statues. There's literally a statue where dude's got his hands up like this, and there's a chick riding his face.
I mean,
it's
just doing a little jiggy.
And it's well done. Like it's very well presented. Looks really nice, right? As nice as a weird sex dungeon in space can look.
Very nice porn.
Very nice sex.
There's classy porn out there.
Behind the green door.
That is not classy. That is disgusting.
And Gage goes down.
Then there's the part where you take like the baby things and you put them inside. You ever Ninja Turtles the Krang?
Oh,
right?
Krang,
It's got the brain inside the thing. It's like
inside
that.
the robot stomach.
And then you kill the robots to take the baby back out and put it in the baby juicer.
sounds like the beginning of a very dark joke.
No, you just juice the baby and then bring these 2 things alive. And that's where you get to the ending, and the ending is probably the biggest letdown I think I've had in any game. So I was enjoying the game a lot despite my complaints, all the way up until the very end. The ending is like, you ever seen Vanilla Sky? No?
No.
So. You're old.
Yeah.
Old head.
Sounds tasty. Like a nice drink.
He's gonna break.
It would be a nice drink. I'm trying to think of something else that would be. The ending doesn't tell you anything. It just ends. Right? The parasite that you've got wins out, and it just ends.
Dude, spoilers.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
He said spoilers like 8 times.
And to me, that was hugely disappointing. I still recommend anybody to play through the game. The puzzles and all that is good. On that note, though, I've been playing the Entropy Center. I recommend that for people who like Portal.
Ooh, good one.
Entropy Center.
It's a good game.
Just real quick, how can you say that's the most disappointing thing ever when you played No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky is good.
No,
it is good.
No,
it is.
No, you're both wrong. You're all wrong because the ending to that game is literally you just starting over.
There's no ending.
Don't go to the center of the universe first thing off the frickin' rip, and you won't have that problem.
No. biggest waste of money.
I disagree. I probably have 100 hours in the No Man's Sky.
Yep, I know.
I
You
have
Yeah, if you
6 hours in the Scorn. The good thing about Scorn is it's on Game Pass, and I didn't shell out money for it. Also, No Man's Sky is also on Game Pass.
Yep.
Now, Aaron, if you had said like Mass Effect Andromeda,
That.
let me tell you one thing. I literally have the tattoo for Mass Effect. Did not finish Andromeda because it was such a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, but you finished No Man's Sky. Therefore, Andromeda is a bigger letdown.
Andromeda was a bigger letdown from the beginning of the game.
he didn't
The
have to
whole
wait till
game
the
was
end.
awful, right?
So
I didn't have.
you mean in No Man's Sky, if you had just not finished the damn game, you would have enjoyed it more?
Probably.
If you would have actually
Well, that's on you.
explored,
Read a Reddit once in a while.
Hold up. Excuse me. I did that within like the first week the game was out. Nobody had beat it. I might have been one of the very first people to beat the game.
And you were wrong.
You're proud of
Sorely
that?
disappointed. Yeah, exactly. Sorely disappointed.
I mean, it was pretty apparent to me when No Man's Sky came out that beating the game was not the point.
Exploring
But
the galaxy. You could have got off the path.
I wanted to know what happened when you got to the end of the galaxy.
That's
Yeah,
on
What
you.
would
And then
you
you
expect
found
to
out.
happen?
That game had so much
I was
more.
expecting to become a god. I don't really know.
Not-
I wasn't expecting to start over.
What is this? Thor: Love and Thunder?
Spoiler alert.
Never seen
I
it.
haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen
I
it.
haven't either.
Just something about the center of the universe.
Going back to that spoiler alert thing. None of you all seen The Sixth Sense,
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
where Bruce Willis was dead the whole time?
Literally never heard of that movie in my life.
Wow, really?
Dude, spoilers.
Wow, that was like the biggest twist in cinema history.
Yeah, that was the point of that was where the point of the joke was.
I thought you were talking about Armageddon.
No. Like, obviously I watch a lot of King of the Hill, so one time Lucky says, like, believe me, fire is not the worst thing you can yell in a movie theater. It's Bruce Willis is dead.
Ugh.
And I never got that joke.
This guy right here.
Anyway, so with that, I think that about does it for the show. Unless anybody has any questions for David on Scorn here.
No, I see enough of his gigantic alien buttholes in the shorts.
Dude, it is all buttholes.
Yeah, definitely take a look at David's shorts if you're interested in Scorn. And he also has a nice review for Scorn where he just shits all over it.
I literally, that game, I don't know how to feel. Like, I enjoyed playing the game, but I cannot, like, say enough, like, good or bad about it. I have things to say.
It's
That
so
game
bad
hurt
it's
me
good.
emotionally.
You can really tell that it impacted you because, like, every time you get into a discussion about it, you kind of like,
Oh,
Oh, you just cut out.
oh,
Yeah?
Yeah, you cut out bad.
Like everything was like quiet, and then all you hear is
Okay, that seems like a good place to end it with Aaron up there doing the shake weight.
So you told people to check David out, but David, what's your tag?
On
Alienbutthole.com.
No, it's
Everybody make sure to comment, Scorn the
That's-
porn.
my YouTube channel is TheMongoose. If you're using the new it's at DMMongoose _mongoose. I don't want to sit here and do a pitch though.
I'll drop links and stuff in the description.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, stop trying to sell that to people.
For you people listening at home, this is the best Pepsi that you will ever have. Not a sponsor, but it could be.
Literally nobody drinks that. I bet they have that on the shelf all the time for you.
I bet it was dusty and everything.
Is that why your beard's orange? You like bathe with it?
Like, I love the way it feels on my skin.
Gives my beard a
Explains
nice
the-
sheen.
Explains like the hair color difference.
Also, why is your beard so much redder than mine?
It's because you're getting old.
Yeah. Although Gage's
Wow.
hair looks red in his current setting.
Yeah, I
It
need to
does.
adjust my lighting.
Everything looks
Is that
red
like
in
a
his current
sepia?
setting.
Hey man, I was just trying to make it bright in here, and it was not
He's
working.
trying to hide the fact that he has more gray than any of us.
I do. I guarantee.
All
it.
that is gray.
Yeah, can't see it.
No, it's red. Whatever's red is gray.
All right. Well, with that, we will see you all next time.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Right.
Deuces.